Gary, you had Charles Ogletree. I remember them bringing the survivors, many of them who now become ancestors, to Congressional Black Caucus, ALC, bringing them to Congress as well. I mean, they have been fighting this good fight for a very, very, very long time.
Yes, they have. And I remember the documentary, Before They Die, that came out, I think, in the 1990s sometime. I remember the fight of Charles Ogletree and others. I've studied the history extensively of the origins of Tulsa, which was founded by Creek Indians around 1834. And when they go into Oklahoma, they take their African slaves with them. And a lot of the early African-American landowners in what became the Greenwood District, North Tulsa, a lot of them got land because of those Black Freedmen Indian treaties of 1866. And last year, Roland, when you were in Tulsa for the 100th commemoration, you actually interviewed a sister who was a descendant of some of those Black Indians, former slaves, who got land from those treaties and their land was taken away. So this has been a fight on multiple levels. I've been following this strategy with the public nuisance. One of the things that I want to find out is what exactly do they have to prove? What's the burden of proof that they have to prove to actually win their case? And the other thing is, I know that in 2021, Representative Hank Johnson of Georgia, House Representatives, Congressional Black Caucus, introduced a bill to try to get reparations for the 3 survivors as well of the Tulsa Race Massacre. So I'm trying to find out where that bill is as well in the House of Representatives. But this is huge for this to be able to advance like this after 101 years.
Indeed. Kelly, your thoughts?
I echo the sentiments of both Michael and Matt, especially when it comes to the legal strategy. It really is brilliant. My main question is there going to be a solution past just the returning of the land, if that's really what they're looking for? Meaning, once it has been established that, they were wrong between the unjust enrichment and the like, is there going to be a system in which the government will help the plaintiffs maintain the space, maintain the community, maintain the businesses? Because if you're going to take it away, you should at the very least provide the resources to those who were damaged by this massacre, and give them the resources to maintain the space, so that it's not just like, here you go and let the chips fall where they may. I think if we're going to talk about equity and not just equality, we need to talk about how you might need to go a little bit above and beyond in order to make the playing field even. So that's my only concern with this. But
I'll say this here. I mean, what you're describing, I think is first of all, you talk about relief, which, Matt, is so far away. I mean, so right now, before you can even get to relief, they're trying to establish the baseline, correct, Matt? Because by establishing that and establishing, to your point, the public nuisance, the harm, you have to get beyond that. Now, once they cross that hurdle, if they're able to go forward, if they're able to win, then it becomes the issue of, okay, what does redress look like? What does reparations look like? And so you notice, Damario was very careful not to go down that path, because in many ways that's putting the cart before the horse. I think that's one of the big problems on the national level. People holler, cut the check. Well, it's a whole bunch of stuff you got to go through before you even get to the check. And we even see what's happening right now with the black farmers, where Congress passed the money. Now you got the white farmers suing for diverse discrimination, and the money hasn't been dispersed yet. And so, Matt, just briefly speak to that in terms of what their legal process now has to be moving forward. The next 2-3 steps.
Sure. So kind of to speak to both Michael's question earlier and Kelly's, I think their legal process now through discovery is to be particularly incisive on asking all the important questions to determine exactly how much the city of Tulsa and the state of Oklahoma have benefited from this massacre, because they have to prove that the nuisance wasn't abated. And the way that they do that is they prove that the outcomes for Black people, particularly in that area, have been particularly disparate. And we know that they have, right? That's an easy argument to make because we see it around the country. But now I think it's a matter of social science data. It's a matter of per capita net worth. It's a matter of a number of different things that they can use to prove. And in fact, I actually think that that makes this case maybe easier than it does than in some other cases, because it's wide open, the evidence that they can use and the ways that they can prove that the nuisance has been abated. I think the big question will be, what discretion does a jury have to award monetary damages for the imposition of the nuisance, and precisely what is that going to look at? Because that going to look like, because that's really the big question for not only these 3 survivors, but for the symbolic importance of this in saying we're going to provide redress. What is that going to look like for this community? And the sad reality is no amount of money is ever going to be remotely enough. But this will be a good barometer for us to see what governments think this case is worth, and frankly, what citizens think cases like these are worth. So that's the next step, is basically to put together that evidence and through discovery to ask the questions to determine just how bad this nuisance has been since 1920.
Is Damario still there? I saw the text y'all just sent. He wants to actually answer that. So if just bring him back quickly so he can actually answer that. So let me know when he is up. So again, so what I really hope that our audience understands, and this is how I think a lot of people. There are people I see on social media who get very emotional about this issue of reparations without understanding you're dealing with a legal strategy. You're dealing with a legal process. It's a political process. It's a legal process. And there's all of those things involved. This is why you got to have lawyers doing the work and not just folks out here just saying whatever. Damario, you want to go ahead and address the couple of issues?
Yeah, I'll get Bobby back. So I think the only thing I heard, someone was asking me, what is the remedies? Well, we put forth a preliminary abatement plan. We didn't have to do that at that time. We talk about land restoration. We talk about a victims compensation fund. We talked about scholarship program. We talked about abatement from taxes. We're saying, look, if the city of Tulsa and the county of Tulsa destroyed someone's property, killed someone, and then never paid anything, but that same person or family has paid taxes to the city and the county for 100 years, it's only fair that that family shouldn't have to pay taxes to the city or county for 100 years. So things of that nature. But our judge, and she has the right to do this, as the brother knows, as everyone knows, the judge can make the determination. She said she's not going to accept our preliminary abatement plan, and that we have the duty of coming up with something more or different as we go through discovery. And that's what the discovery process is. I want to be real clear to people. Discovery happens in every case. This is when we get the opportunity to take people's depositions under oath, to get documents that we can review, and not only take the depositions of those who we are suing, but we're going to get the opportunity to work with some of the greatest experts from around the world. I'm talking about sociologists, psychologists, medical doctors, urban planning, actuaries, people that deal with real estate. It's really, really amazing, because not only is this powerful for us from a legal standpoint, but from a historical documentation standpoint, we only know about 5 to 10% of what happened during the massacre, because the perpetrators of the massacre, they have hidden the documents, hidden the identities, and hidden the true nature, barbaric nature of what they did. But through discovery, we will have access to documents never before seen. That in and of itself makes this effort worthwhile, but obviously we want to get redress.
Wow.
All right, then. Damario, we sure appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, peace.
All right, then. So, folks, we will see what happens next in this case. Got to go to a break. We come back, more on Roland Martin Unfiltered. We'll talk the jobs report. Huge jobs report. Everybody keeps hollering recession. Don't look like it. We'll break it down next. Folks, if you're watching YouTube and Facebook, hit that like button right now. Hit that share button. We should be easily past 1,000 likes. And also, if you want to support us in what we do, please do so. Download our Black Star Network app. All platforms, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV, and of course, your dollars make it possible for us to do what we do. We appreciate every single dollar. Folks, we are behind. We are behind our tally last year by about $100,000. And so, as I said, if 20,000 of our fans contribute on an average $50 each, that's $4.19 a month. 13 cents a day, we easily hit our goal of $1 million each year. And so that's what we really need for you to do. And so, like I say, our goal, we were about $100,000 behind last year. So that means we need 2,000 of you to contribute. If you're watching right now and you have not contributed to Roland Martin Unfiltered, to the Black Star Network, this is your opportunity to do so. There are 1,200 of you watching on YouTube alone. There are others who are watching on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and all these platforms. And so your resources matter, folks. And so if you're watching for free, look, y'all, the equipment ain't free. Staff not free. Insurance is not free. And so please, we ask that you support us in what we do. You can send a check or money order to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com. We'll be right back.
When we invest in ourselves, our glow, our vision, our vibe, we all shine. Together, we are black beyond measure.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie. We'll laugh together, cry together, pull ourselves together, and cheer each other on. So join me for new shows each Tuesday on Black Star Network, A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
When we invest in ourselves, we're investing in what's next for all of us. Growing, creating, making moves that move us all forward. Together, we are black beyond measure.
Pull up a chair, take your seat. The Black Tape with me, Dr. Greg Carr, here on the Black Star Network. Every week, we'll take a deeper dive into the world we're living in. Join the conversation only on the Black Star Network.
What's going on? This is Tobias Trevelyan.
Hey, I'm Amber Stevens-West.
Yo, what up, y'all? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered right here on the Black Star Network. All right, folks, let's talk about the issue of abortion, and that is the Indiana House has passed a bill that would ban nearly all abortions in that state, sending that bill back to the state Senate to confer on House changes. House members on Friday advanced the near total abortion ban 62 to 38 with limited exceptions, including in cases of rape and incest, and to protect the life and physical health of the mother. The measure now goes to the Senate. If approved as is, Indiana lawmakers will become the first in the nation to pass new legislation restricting access to abortion since the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling in June removing its protected status as a constitutional right. Yesterday on the House floor, House Democrat John Bartlett proposed an amendment to the bill that shook the room ahead of today's vote. And he basically says, okay, y'all want to go after women? let's go after men.
We're forcing young girls to be mothers, but not forcing the men to be fathers. This bill makes it illegal to prescribe, distribute, supply erectile dysfunction drugs or sexual impotency drugs. If, in fact, an unwanted pregnancy is an act of God, then impotency must be an act of God. I think that there should be some onus put on the men for these pregnancies. And I urge you to vote for this amendment.
I will measure my comments just because I don't want to get in trouble. So at this time, we'll just leave it at that. Please oppose this amendment.
Further discussion on the amendment.
Some may think this is a joke, but it takes two people for a pregnancy to come about. And to put all the onus onto a woman, I just think it's unfair.
Michael, I think it is important to have this conversation. You've got Republicans who want to go after contraception. Okay, fine. Let's deal with Viagra. I mean, what you're dealing with here are largely male lawmakers in D.C., in state capitals, who are behind these laws, but they don't want to do a damn thing when it comes to men and their penises.
You're largely dealing with old white men, too. Some of them are younger, like Matt Gaetz, but you largely, who I call Sugar Daddy Matt Gaetz, a.k.a. the white R. Kelly. But you largely dealing with old white men, okay? So this goes back to what I was saying a couple weeks ago. So now what they're doing, we see they're going after contraceptives, Republicans going after contraceptives, and they're going after the abortion pill, things like this. And a lot of this has to do with white male patriarchy, misogyny, and wanting to have control over women's bodies, taking this back to before the 19th Amendment, taking this back to the 1800s. Actually, 1868 was actually referenced in Justice Alito's opinion. So they're trying to take this back to a time when women had, especially white women, had very little rights in this country. And at a time, if you go back to slavery, like I said before, you know, African-American women were forced to carry their rapist babies, and African-American girls were forced to carry their rapist babies to terms. Now, a lot of white men want to have that same autonomy over white women. So when you flip the script, and I knew something like this was coming, when you flip the script and start dealing with the penis and Viagra and male impotency and things like this, you're going to see a stark difference and a stark hypocrisy with these old white men that's going to make it even worse. Because what we're seeing now, Roland, New York Times has an article about this from today or yesterday, how a lot of these Republicans like Mastriano and some of these other Republicans are trying to now moderate their staunch stance on abortion because now they have to go to the general election. They're the dog that caught the car, and now they really don't know what to do with it. So this is there was a poll that showed how women's reproductive rights or abortion is number 2 behind the economy when it comes to the 2022 midterm election. I think by November is going to be number 1.
That is a crucial issue there, Kelly, because we just saw this week in Kansas where voters went to the polls and rejected what Republicans are putting forward. That has sent shockwaves across the country, but they were extremely smart in how they also marketed what the change of the Constitution could mean. And what we're now seeing, we're seeing 538 say Democrats could very well hold onto the House and the Senate. To Michael's point, we are seeing how significant the issue of choice is going to impact this election. In fact, yesterday, you look at the results in Tennessee, there were a number of hard right Republicans who lost elections in Tennessee. There is significant blowback, especially in the suburbs of this country.
Absolutely, because people aren't understanding specifically these white R. Kellys, such as Michael so colorfully described, and these old white men, and frankly, the women who support these old white men. They're not understanding that not only have times changed, but you cannot simply take away the autonomy of women that we have had for the past 50 plus years and act like everything is going to be okay. It's not. When you give someone a freedom, you cannot take that back and expect no consequences to be had. And back to the legislator of that jurisdiction talking about contraception, let's take it a step further. You know, because like I said, people aren't thinking about this. If you really want something inside of you that is really just a conglomerate of tissue to have autonomy, such that the woman who's carrying said conglomerate of tissue cannot abort it, let's give that conglomerate of tissue a social security number so we can collect taxes on it. Let's give the pregnant woman license for HOV lanes, even though there's one person in there. If it's a HOV too, she's technically having a second person in the car. No one's talking about that. No one's thinking about everything that's going to be impacted by way of taking away a person's freedom and infringing on their right to privacy in so doing. So I just hope that people come out to the polls, people vote against this archaic, asinine, and frankly just dumb perception of what is life, what isn't life, what women can do, what women can't do. I'm team mind your business. If it doesn't concern you, leave me alone. Leave me and my body alone. And frankly, the people of America are speaking now, specifically in Kansas and other jurisdictions that are having primaries right now. People are speaking out, and they're tired of it, myself included.
Matt, when you talk about this issue, this is where on the political front, if you are liberal, if you're progressive, if you are Democrat, you could have a very winning message based upon the type of overreach of the far right. And I think that's what we saw in Kansas. It's been very interesting watching white conservatives like Eric Erickson try to downplay it by saying, oh, this is what the Supreme Court wanted. They wanted the states to make these decisions. Okay. You start seeing wipeout of Republican leadership, and you're absolutely right. They're going to start trying to walk back. And the other thing is here, because it used to be, hey, they were against abortion, except in the case of incest and rape. Mm-hmm. Now they're passing these laws saying, no, incest and rape, forget it, no exceptions. That, to me, is also a huge part of this blowback.
I think so. And I think, Roland, I saw a graphic that said if you extrapolated those Kansas results out to the rest of the country, something like 80% of American voters would have rejected that proposition in Kansas. So I think, one, that's proof positive that the American people at large don't want this, number one. And as Michael and Kelly alluded to, I think what's especially smart or obvious about this is that they did not consider all of the things that would flow from this, i.e., whether a fetus, or even before that point, is a person for the purpose of the HOV lanes, is a person for the purpose of life insurance, and all the other things that come with personhood. So it's clear they didn't think beyond just the political point of this. And I'm glad you mentioned this, because I was on a political call today, and someone mentioned a commercial I haven't seen yet, but apparently the Democrats here in Texas are running a commercial where a husband and wife are talking about what they need to do with their doctor, and their doctor basically indicates that they need to have a procedure. But the husband and wife look at each other and say, wait, we have to call Greg first. And the whole premise is we have to call Greg Abbott to make these decisions for our family. And that's running in Texas, and that's expected to get a lot of traction. So I think it's pretty obvious that the Republicans did not think further on this issue, and they didn't think about all the blowback, and they didn't think about all the people even within their party and on the fringes of the party who don't like, divesting women of their personal autonomy and bodyhood. So I'm glad to see this happening, because it's very clear that they didn't think beyond this political issue, and it's starting to bite them in the butt now.
Indeed. All right, folks, hold tight 1 second. When we come back, we'll talk with Bill Spriggs about today's jobs report. 528,000 jobs added. That's a huge number. Boy, Fox News, they ain't happy. They sure want that number lower. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Don't forget, folks, hit that like button, hit that share button on YouTube and Facebook. Also, if you are watching, support us in what we do, and that is download our app, Black Star Network app, all platforms, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. And you can also support us with your resources. Folks, it is critically important. And then, of course, to do so, check some money orders. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App, $RM Unfiltered. PayPal's R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo's RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com. We'll be right back.
When we invest in ourselves, our glow, our vision, our vibe, we all shine. Together, we are black beyond measure.
Sexy to me is the exact same feeling as running water, ever flowing. Water always finds a way to get through. And so when you know that you're sexy, there are no questions about it. It is an ever-flowing emotion. It is an ever-flowing feeling. When you question it, though, you stop the water. I struggle with this a lot, mainly because I've been told what sexy should look like, what it should feel like. As a model who did Sports Illustrated, you're told that this is what sells sexy, but then you travel the world and what's sexy to one person is not sexy to another person. I'm more of a mindfuck kind of person. How can you stimulate the brain? To me, that's sexy.
When we invest in ourselves, we all shine. Together, we are black beyond measure.
We're all impacted by the culture, whether we know it or not. From politics to music and entertainment, it's a huge part of our lives, and we're going to talk about it every day right here on The Culture with me, Faraji Muhammad, only on the Black Star Network.
Hello, everyone. It's Kiara Sheard.
Hey, I'm Taj.
I'm Coco.
And I'm Lily. And we're SWV.
What's up, y'all? It's Ryan Destiny, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, welcome back to Roland Unfiltered. We are here in Las Vegas for the NABJ-NAHJ 2022 convention. We're here in the student projects room. This is where our students do work on the broadcast for the convention. This was an initiative when I was a national student representative, actually got passed. Sheila Brooks, she was the one who conceived the idea, but our board would not put the money behind it. When I joined the board in 1989 as a student rep, we actually got it passed and got the money for it. And so thought it was a great opportunity to go full circle to be able to be to broadcast this show from this particular space, especially considering the first student project that we had in 1990. I was the first anchor of that particular project, so certainly glad to be here. All right, folks, let's talk jobs. Every first Friday of the month, jobs reports come out, and it was a big number today. 528,000 jobs were added last month. Man, conservative media have been hot and pissed off all day, not liking that. They have been yelling and screaming that we are headed for a massive recession. Well, really? I don't know if that is still the case. Now, the Biden White House has kept saying over and over and over again that things were indeed changing. And so exactly where are we? What's going on? Oh, by the way, gas prices have been dropping in a significant way as well for almost the past 2 months. Dr. Bill Spriggs, he, of course, is an economist, longtime professor at Howard University. and of course also spent some time with the ACLU. He joins us right now. Glad to have you, Dr. Spriggs. Before we talk about it, here is today President Biden reveling in these numbers.
Well, good afternoon. Today we received another outstanding jobs report. 528,000 jobs were added just last month to this country's employment. 528,000 jobs. We have now nearly doubled what we're almost at 10 million jobs. Almost at 10 million jobs since I took office. That's the fastest job growth in history. Today, we also matched the lowest unemployment rate in America in the last 50 years, 3.5%. Yes, 3.5%. Today, there are more people working in America than before the pandemic began. In fact, there are more people working in America than any point in American history. You know, what we're also seeing is something that just a few years ago, many experts said was literally impossible: the revitalization of American manufacturing. Since I took office, we've created 642,000 American manufacturing jobs in America. We've seen the biggest and the fastest job recovery in American manufacturing history since the 50s. And some people may have given up on American manufacturing, but the American people didn't, and I know I never did. That's why I made it, "Make it in America," that phrase, "Make it in America," the cornerstone of my economic plan. And today's report proves "Make it in America" isn't just a slogan, it's my administration. It's a reality. I've also made it a priority to bring down the federal deficit. After watching my predecessor every single year increase the debt, the federal deficit, every year for the 4 years he was in office, I said no more. The days of exploding federal deficits are over.
Now, economists said we were going to have 250,000 jobs. It was double that. Bill, glad to have you back on the show. All of these people, the doom and gloom, oh my God, we're heading to a recession. What are you seeing? What are you seeing? Because you got Republicans who are hoping this economy tanks leading into November.
Well, the jobs report shows that the economy is continuing to be strong, at least in the job market. It has a little cautionary note to it. We should be a little careful, because while the payroll number was a very huge number, we also do a survey where we ask households what's going on. That's where we get the unemployment number from. And the unemployment number was back down to its pre-pandemic level. We should be celebrating that. We have payroll back. We have unemployment back. This month for women, unemployment was down for all women, white women, Black women, Hispanic women. We also saw that over the course of the year, because we had faster growth for women, we've made up for what was termed the she-cession, because women lost so many jobs during the immediate part of the downturn. They've made up for that. Plus, they have made gains in higher wage industries than where women were before. Construction, durable goods manufacturing, warehouse and transportation, wholesale trade, utilities. These are higher wage industries than where women normally are. But the cautionary note is this: over the last 3 months, job openings have been falling. And for the last 3 months, Black workers have been showing us that it is harder to find a job. Last month, the unemployment rate unfortunately went up for Black men for all the reasons we don't like. Our labor force participation was down, our unemployment was up, our employment was down, and so as a result, the unemployment rate for Black men went up. That's a cautionary tale that the economy can reach this inflection. If we do have a recession, it will be the result of the Federal Reserve way overplaying its hand. The Federal Reserve cannot address the source of price hikes that we have in the U.S., and they're happening globally. Globally, prices are up. Every nation on the planet, the United States, has an inflation rate that is slightly lower than the European Union, slightly lower than the 20 largest economies on average. So we are suffering, not worse than others, slightly better than others from these price hikes that have been going on. But the price hikes are all related to global warming. It's not just Ukraine and Russia, but the global warming that we're suffering from is producing droughts in India and Africa, Italy. And then we have these unpredictable disruptions. Who knew? There are only a small number of firms that make carbon dioxide for the United States, and their plants aren't able to produce carbon dioxide. And now we're facing prices for all sorts of products, from beer to soda to actually meat slaughter, because they use carbon dioxide to knock out animals at some other slaughter. We all had the infant formula crisis before. All of these things because our supply chain is so fragile. So the Fed cannot affect those things. The conservatives are jumping up and down, taking away the party. We should be celebrating today the fastest recovery from job loss on record. In 2 years, we have the share of Black men who are employed back to pre-pandemic levels, and that was in 2 years. Normally, that takes 8 years.
So Bill, the point that you just make, again, as I look at what's happening with the economy, and I've seen Robert Reich, I've seen a lot of his posts. In your estimation, do you believe that there are companies that clearly are taking advantage of what's happening right now, jacking up prices? The profits of these oil companies have been staggering. And when you look at how the gas prices have been, the barrel of oil, how they've been dropping and how they compare to actually gas prices, there's a significant gap there as well. So are companies, are they jacking up these prices and keeping them up to fatten their pockets and saying, screw the consumers? And obviously that's bad news for Biden, because he's getting tagged and saying, oh, it's your awful economy. And how do you also explain these job numbers and other positive economic signs, but then people still saying, oh, the economy is terrible, it's so bad, it's so awful? It seems weird.
Well, it is a weird economy, but going forward, we're going to have to get used to these kind of shocks to prices, because what we're seeing this summer, global warming is real. It has real effects. So apart from the fuel, the food prices are going to be erratic going forward. And these horrible storms like the flooding that you see in Kentucky, the next flood could be wiping out those carbon dioxide firms in Jackson, Mississippi, for all we know next time. There are so many shocks that can happen because of global warming, but the economy itself is healthy. And people are trying to blame the prices on the health of the economy. They're trying to say the economy is too healthy, but that's not the case. And definitely we don't want to slow down people getting back to work and people getting employment. So they are blaming the health of the economy and trying to turn ice cream into something you wouldn't want to eat. They're putting vinegar on the ice cream, so to speak. And it is not helpful. It's preventing us from doing all the things we can to address the fault lines. The president's recently introduced act that is aimed at controlling inflation. That act does address some of the underlying forces that we know were problems. We have to address chips, which Congress just passed legislation to make sure that we can get these smart chips so we can keep up manufacturing of automobiles. Everything that we buy now has smart chips in it. We need to keep healthcare costs down. Everybody knows that prescription drugs are robbing them every month from increases in those prices. That legislation controls the price that elders will pay for prescriptions, and it will give us a chance to put the genie back into the bottle, where these drug companies thought that they had the right to just any price they wanted. We're supposed to print money for them to meet their price. We're going to put rationality back. That's really important. So there are some key things that are going to make things better. Speaking of the companies profiting, we're going to finally have a global minimum tax agreement that's been agreed to internationally. We're playing our part in the U.S. That legislation ties that in. So in the past, yeah, Shell and Mobil, and all of the rest of them, they would have a rule here like this, and then they would pay no taxes because they were carrying back losses from when the economy was worse, and they would get away with no taxes. You go, how did they make billions of dollars and pay no tax? And so this is going to assure that every billion-dollar company pays a fair share of taxes to every country, not to allow companies, to go escape and claim that, we're really Irish. We don't need to pay American taxes. We're really not American, even though every, patent we hold is an American patent.
Got some questions from our panelists. Let's go right to them. Michael Imhotep, your question for Bill Spriggs. Dr. Bill Spriggs.
Hello, Dr. Bill Spriggs. Good to talk to you again. Question for you. Looking at the jobs report, we see that inflation is declining a little bit, according to the Washington Post, and also we see a healthy job number. We saw that the labor force participation rate dropped down to 62.1% from 62.2%. Can you explain the significance of the labor force participation rate? Why it's so significant? It's not just the top number, 528,000 jobs, but that's also a factor. Can you talk about that, please?
Because the labor force participation is an argument that economists have. How big is the labor market? So when you have an unemployment rate that's very low, 3.5% is a record low number, then you're going to have a lot of economists say, well, we're done. That, in their mind, is full employment, and pushing any more in the labor market, trying to add any more workers to having a job, in their view, is only going to bid up wages. And so the argument is, what is the size of the labor force? And so if the labor force participation can't get any bigger, that's it. People aren't going to join for whatever reason you want to give, whether it's they're afraid of COVID, they can't find childcare, they want to retire, any of those things, then you're saying, well, we can't add any more jobs because that's the number of people who are out. And people like me, of course, every time we have a recovery, we have this fight. They're not coming. The argument is always, they're not coming back. That's it. There are no more workers. And then lo and behold, the labor force participation number goes back up. So that's why that number is key. For Black workers are exceedingly sensitive to, are you hiring? Because if you're not hiring, there's no point in me looking for a job. Right. And over the last 3 months, Black labor force participation has been dropping, and the posting of job openings has been dropping. And that's consistent with firms aren't that intense in their search for workers, and there are a lot of Black workers who seem to be discouraged. But being discouraged, it can be reversed, especially in the case of Black workers. All you have to do is start hiring us again, and then we'll show up. So that's why the number is key. If you continue to believe like the pessimist, never going to get back. In terms of normally we look at the prime age workers, those who are 25 to 64, and that number is getting close to the pre-pandemic level. It has not returned to the level where it was in 2001. I mean, yes, in 2000. Sorry. Yes, way back in 2001. I mean, like we're 20 years behind getting our labor force participation back where it's supposed to be. So some of us believe we can get back to 2001, and we argue that we continue to expand the labor market. Wages are not going up. They have stalled. They have only been going up year over year, not because the labor market is tight, but because we have 26 states that have been raising the minimum wage. So if you look year over year, then you're going to see a big jump because you certainly see the effect of these minimum wages. But as you look month to month, or you look like a 6-month window, then you see that wages aren't really going up that fast. They're going up around 4%, which is consistent with a healthy labor market. Only problem for workers is that prices are going up 8%.
Right.
So
9%.
the
Yep.
real the ability to purchase, the
Not,
meaning
not
of that pay has been falling for workers. And so it's this whole issue. Are wages being pushed up because the labor market is too tight? Are any more workers going to come back? Or are they all gone? How sensitive are workers to actual labor market conditions? All of these are the things that we look at for signs whether there's more room for the labor market to continue to expand. I would argue that there's still space left. Black labor force participation can go back up once hiring picks back up again at a faster rate. That's get heartburn. People didn't like this 500,000 job came, but there's still room for more people to get a job.
All
right, let me go to Kelly. Kelly, your question for Bill. Kelly?
Sure. So really quickly, of course, you see in the news and the like. Even though this jobs report came out today and it's great, people should be happy about that. The narrative is still we are entering a recession. Even though the numbers don't appear to be that way, we frankly have never been in this situation before where, frankly, 500,000 people in our workforce died because of COVID. So I guess my question to you is, with everything going on, what the numbers looking good, but we're still in this predicament of not really being able to afford basic needs such as medicine, food, gas, and the like. Even though some of those prices are going down, they're not going down fast enough for American people to take advantage of it. Is it possible for a recession to look different, or recession light, something to that effect? What does a recession look like to you, and is it possible for that vision to change to match this narrative that people are spewing right now?
Well, as I mentioned, we're going to have problems with prices going forward because our whole system is so fragile. And in particular, global warming going forward is going to be a problem. And we have to get used to these price spikes that are going to come about because global warming is real and we have to take global warming seriously. That's why the Inflation Act has a big component for us to finally commit ourselves as an economy and as a nation to do something about global warming, which we have already apparently passed the red zone for, even though environmentalists want to tell us we still have some time to go. It's not a recession until general economic activity starts to slow down. We have clear headwinds. The global economy is slowing down because of global warming, and countries are suffering from droughts. The price of fuel is going up. And for many countries, that's a far bigger burden than in the US. So I wouldn't say I'm going to redefine what I think of as a recession or any of this is going to cause a redefinition. The economy is strong enough and healthy enough to continue to add workers. Their wages are still going up, not as fast as prices, but their wages are still going up. That's not a recession. It is possible for the Fed to make the same mistake it did in the 1980s, to believe that when you have massive supply shocks, that you can get the prices under control, even though you don't control the prices. And yes, you can slow down economic activity, and the Fed is threatening to do that by misinterpreting the fact that wages are not pushing up, the fact that we are still adding workers and wages are not being pushed up. You add 500,000 workers and you still didn't see wages accelerate. So, and a lot of what's going on, as I mentioned before, are these simple kind of structural issues. We raised the minimum wage. Women are shifting out of low wage work to higher wage work. All of this is good for the economy, makes the economy have a sustainable growth. It does not make for a new, you add jobs, but you're in a recession. We don't even have such a model. We do have a model where you can have high unemployment and you can have inflation. That's what we went through in the 1980s. And again, that's because the prices are not shifting because of the economy. The prices are shifting because of something exogenous to the economy. Nothing the Fed does, and nothing the Biden administration can do is going to stop global warming next year. It's not going to ease the drought in India. It's not going to ease the drought in Africa. It's not going to ease the drought in Italy. And so we need to focus on how do you help people through the storm? And that's the best analogy. When you say the economy is causing price increases, that makes you want to go for austerity. Just at the time, you need to think, okay, we're in a storm. If a hurricane hit the United States, we know the cities that need relief. We know which households need more money to help them navigate the shocks of these price increases that resulted from the supply shocks. The economy is healthy because people are navigating the price increase. They're buying something different. And so that's why the economy is able to hold up the employment. I can't buy, like earlier in the year, you couldn't buy cream cheese. But okay, but I have enough money, I can buy something else. That keeps people employed because I bought something else. Earlier, we couldn't buy new cars because the amount of cars we were making had collapsed back to Great Recession levels. So people bought used cars. People were paying more to get their automobiles fixed. That kept people employed. We were still ordering cars, so we didn't lose jobs in our auto factories. In fact, we have over 90,000 cars in Detroit warehoused, waiting for the chips so we can actually deliver the cars to people. All of these things, keeping employed means that we can shift our demands. We know people who have less money have difficulty making those shifts. And just as if this were a hurricane, we need to find ways to deliver relief. You can expand food assistance and expand SNAP benefits. It would have been good, unfortunately, it got dropped from the package, but it would have been good if we had made permanent the $300 totally refundable child tax credit, because we know the families that struggle the most who can't make shifts, because we saw that with the child formula, right? You got a baby, you can't tell me, oh, well, diapers cost more, so you find an alternative. But there's no alternative to diapers. There's no alternative to the baby formula that we saw, got taken off the shelf. So we know there are households we should be helping because they don't have these kind of alternatives. And we know how to do that.
Got it.
And do the $300 refundable child tax credit. But you can't do that. If people are misleading you by saying, oh, the economy's overheating. You can't do anything to help anybody because that'll make the economy overheating more. So we can't deliver the type of that we need to be delivering right now. And most importantly, that other countries are doing. So throughout Europe right now, they have been delivering additional help to low-income families because they know that low-income families are having a hard time being able to afford substitutes for when there are shortages.
Okay. All right, Matt, got your question. I got 2 minutes. I got a next guest lined up. And so, Matt, quick question. Bill, quick answer. I got to go to break.
Sure. Very quick question, Dr. Spriggs. I know that in this jobs report, government jobs are down almost 600,000 jobs from pre-pandemic levels. Does that, in your estimation, pose an opportunity for Black people in particular, based on the data that you know? Is that an opportunity for underemployed and unemployed Black people to re-enter the workforce in the government sector? What are your thoughts in that respect?
The public sector is very important for Black workers. The majority of public sector workers are women. So many state governments are controlled by Republican legislatures. The rescue plan from last year made the revenues of state and local governments whole. They don't have a problem with revenue. Their revenues are very strong this year. There's no excuse for us to be down on public sector workers. We should be hiring back to the pre-pandemic level. We still need teachers. We still need school crossing guards. We still need librarians. We still need recreation workers. We still need social workers. We still need public sector workers back on the job. But the problem is this November, when you go to the polls, think about, is your state and local government working? And it's not working probably because your governor is being stingy and doesn't want to bring back the public sector workers who should be delivering services to you right now.
All right, then. Bill Spriggs, always great to have you on the show breaking down these monthly economic numbers. Thanks a bunch.
Thanks.
All right, folks, got to go to a break. We come back, our Black and Missing. We also tell you what's happening latest with the lawsuit of Brian Flores in the NFL, as well as some other news. Folks, don't forget, we need all of you watching YouTube, hit the like button, y'all. We should be at 1,000 likes already, okay? Why am I asking y'all for the second time? Hit the doggone like button. This is real simple. We had a little more than 700. It's 300 more to go. Just hit the button. It's real simple, okay? Same thing on Facebook. Hit the share button as well. Folks, download the Black Star Network app, please. We need to have way more downloads. This allows us to be able to build our capacity with our app to be able to, when we go to our advertisers, we're able to show what our downloads are and show what our viewership is. And so Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV, that's all the apps. You also can support us. Trust me, folks, I'm telling you, we're $100,000 down behind from where we were last year. We appreciate every dollar. If 2,000 of you contribute $50, that means that, which is all we ask for the year. That's $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. Keep in mind, you're getting this show 2 hours a day. You're getting Faraji Muhammad show 2 hours a day. You're getting Deborah Owens' Wealth Building show on Monday. Dr. Jackie Hood Martin's Wellness Balanced Living show. You're getting Greg Carr's Historical show. You're getting Stephanie Humphreys' The Pivot show. You're getting Roland with Roland, our interview series with some phenomenal folks. We've got great interviews coming up. Sally Richardson and Flexi Alexander. We have Ray Chu. We got so many folks who are coming up. Again, Laz Alonso, Michael Ealy. Folks, you're getting all of that. I'm purposely not charging people a subscription. And so what I want to do, I want August to be a $100,000 month. I want 2,000 of our fans contributing, hitting that $50 number. Trust me, that is crucial for us to continue to do and build what we're building. Folks, I'm here at NABJ. And listen to me. I'm telling y'all, and I'm working on this right now. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, I am working on, as we speak, locking down and launching a 24-hour Black Star Network channel. That means we will be on a number of those streaming services. So in addition to the app, we have the 24-hour streaming channel. And so then that means you'll see our program that's going to be going continuously. So I told you what we are building. We're building something here that is for us and by us. You are a huge part of this. Trust me, I'm talking to advertisers as well, but I need your support in doing so. So in the month of August, I'm looking to get 2,000 of our fans contributing $50 each or more. If you want to give more, that's great. If you can't give more, you can give less, that's fine. But I'm looking for 2,000 of our fans to contribute at least $50 this month for us to hit $100,000. And I want to hit $100,000 in August, September, October, November, and December. And trust me, folks, the things that we got going on, I got 2 other shows in development, another daily show. I've got another weekly show. Trust me, the things that we're building are absolutely amazing, and this is about Black-owned media. And trust me, I'm giving these advertisers hell. I'm sitting here at NABJ. I'll be talking to some potential sponsors as well. And so these things are happening. We need your support. And so please, Cash App, money order, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com. We'll be right back.
When we invest in ourselves, our glow, our vision, our vibe, we all shine. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Hood Martin, and I have a question for you. Ever feel as if your life is teetering and the weight and pressure of the world is consistently on your shoulders? Well, let me tell you, living a balanced life isn't easy. Join me each Tuesday on Black Star Network for A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie. We'll laugh together, cry together, pull ourselves together, and cheer each other on. So join me for new shows each Tuesday on Black Star Network, A Balanced Life with Dr. Jackie.
When we invest in ourselves, we all shine. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. Succession. We're hearing that word pop up a lot these days as our country continues to fracture and divide. But did you know that that idea, essentially a breaking up of the USA, has been part of the public debate since long before and long after the Civil War? Right up to today. On our next show, you'll meet Richard Crichton, the author of this book, who says breaking up this great experiment called America might not be such a bad thing. That's on the next Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
I'm Angie Stone.
Hi, I'm Teresa Griffin.
Oh, Roland. Hey, Roland, I am so disappointed that you are not here, first of all. Where's our dance? It's like we get a dance in every time I see you. And so now you're not here for me to dance with, sir. You and your ascot. I need it. I need that in my life right now. Okay, I love you, Roland.
What's up? I'm Lance Gross, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, folks, Sade Alston has been missing from Columbus, Georgia since July 25th. The 17-year-old is 5 feet 6 inches tall. She weighs 120 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information about Sade Alston should call the Columbus, Georgia Police Department at 706-653-3150. Let me say it again, 706-653-3150. A city in California has reached a settlement with a wrongfully arrested black man. Folks, first of all, the city of La Mesa, California has agreed to pay Amari Johnson $125,000 in a lawsuit filed by Johnson that former officer Matthew Diggs used excessive force and wrongfully arrested him. Before a settlement was set, U.S. District Court Judge Jeffrey Miller dismissed the case set for a trial in mid-November. The city will pay $50,000 of the settlement, while their insurance will cover the remainder. Folks, a U.S. District Court judge has denied representatives for NFL coach Brian Flores' request to obtain discovery before arguing against the NFL's attempt to take the case into arbitration. Flores sued the NFL and several teams for racial discrimination against minority executives, including himself. In a statement, Douglas H. Wigdor and John Elefakaris, Flores' attorney, stated, "We are confident that we will defeat the efforts of the NFL to move this matter into a private and confidential arbitration behind closed doors. It is obvious that the NFL is trying to hide behind the arbitration process and avoid public scrutiny of the racial discrimination and retaliation claims we have brought. If they are confident in their defenses, they should let the process play out in court so the general public can see. The response to the motion is due to be filed by August 19th. The reply from the NFL and the teams that have been sued is due on August 26th. A family in South Carolina has filed a federal lawsuit on behalf of their loved one who died in custody at Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center. 27-year-old LaShawn Butler was arrested and taken to jail for traffic violations on January 31st. Butler was found dead on the floor of his cell covered in rat bites. A coroner ruled his death a homicide, with the cause being dehydration. The lawsuit says Butler was denied medical care and was in a mental health crisis when he was arrested. 2 other inmates have died at this facility this year. And folks, here's a sad case of flying while black. 2 Sudan-born American men were speaking and texting in Arabic when they were removed from their Alaskan air flight 2 years ago. Another passenger alerted the airline staff of them utilizing their native tongue, and the staff member forced them off the plane. Abokar Dira and Mohammed El-Amin are suing the airline for discrimination. They are still traumatized from the incident and have not flown since. The men want religious and racial sensitivity training for all employees and unspecified monetary damages. All right, folks, let me go to a break. We come back. We'll talk our Education Matters segment right here, again, talking about HBCUs, HBCU ambassadors, and how they are helping students achieve their life goals. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Don't forget, download that app, folks. Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. And of course, I told you, my goal this year to get 2,000 of our fans contributing at least $50 this month in order for us to hit our goal because of the great things that we have coming up. And I want to go ahead and read this here. Y'all are already responding. That's, man, well, I love y'all in a huge way. Let's see here. Carol McCurdy. She's already contributed. Devon Young contributed. Kimberly Dominique, Jamel Thomas, LaDon, Mike, Rita Reed. Let's see here. Gregory Harris, Robert Brown, Dexter Adams, Providence Natural Soaps, Santeresa David, Varda Pleasant. Let's see here. They've all given during the show. And so, again, everybody who gives is going to get a shout out on the show as well. And so, again, we want to get, let's see here. Also, let's see here. Hold on. Joyce Johnson just gave on Zelle. And so, again, we're going to be tracking these, giving you a daily update. Again, 2,000 people, $50 each. You want to give more? That'll be great. And less number of people. You give less, we understand. But the goal is to hit $100,000. 2,000 people times 50 is 100,000. Folks, it's $4.19 a month, 13 cents a day. That's all it costs. But this is about us being able to grow this platform and build something amazing. Again, cash checks or money order, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App, $RM Unfiltered. PayPal, R Martin Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Venmo's RM Unfiltered. We'll be right back.
Sexy to me is the exact same feeling as running water, ever flowing. Water always finds a way to get through. And so when you know that you're sexy, there are no questions about it. It is an ever-flowing emotion. It is an ever-flowing feeling. When you question it, though, you stop the water. I struggle with this a lot, mainly because I've been told what sexy should look like, what it should feel like. As a model who did Sports Illustrated, you're told that this is what sells sexy, but then you travel the world and what's sexy to one person is not sexy to another person. I'm more of a mindfuck kind of person. How can you stimulate the brain? To me, that's sexy.
When we invest in ourselves, we all shine. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
We're all impacted by the culture, whether we know it or not. From politics to music and entertainment, it's a huge part of our lives, and we're going to talk about it every day right here on The Culture with me, Faraji Muhammad, only on the Black Star Network.
When we invest in ourselves, we're investing in what's next for all of us. Growing, creating, making moves that move us all forward. Together, we are Black beyond measure.
Hi, I'm Vivian Green.
Hey everybody, this is your man Fred Hammond, and you're watching Roland Martin, my man, Unfiltered.
A D.C. couple offered a spare room in their home to help a student interning on Capitol Hill for the summer. Today, the couple has founded the Washington Intern Student Housing Program, which has provided temporary intern housing to more than 100 colleges and universities worldwide. Inspired by President Joe Biden's call for diversity in the workforce, Jacqueline Lewis established the HBCU National Center in November 2021 to directly eliminate students struggling with the cost of living while in D.C. The program provides experiences and opportunities for HBCU students to connect with mentors and alumni, network with community leaders, and explore the nation's capital without having to worry about the expensive cost of living while interning in Washington, D.C. Joining us now is Hayley Dashiell, HBCU National Center Program Coordinator, and Michonne Robinson and Anaya Chambers, HBCU National Center Student Ambassadors. Glad to have all three of you here. This is, first of all, here's the deal. I never knew this even existed. So Sidney, who works with us, North Carolina A&T student, when she had the Black News Channel internship, one of her professors, David Squires, hit me up and said, hey, he was looking to provide an intern. I said, well, look, I said, I can provide the intern, be paid intern. I said, but not housing. And so they said, we'll work on the housing. And so one day I was leaving the office and I dropped her off. And I was like, where in the hell am I dropping her off to? And it was like this, this HBCU center. And so, I mean, that is pretty awesome. And so how many students do you host each year?
Yeah, so I can take that question. So probably the reason you hadn't heard about it is because we just started in fall 2021. So this is only our third semester. But so far we've had 26 students stay with us for free since September 2021. This summer we had 12 students, which is our most per semester so far.
Now, what is your capacity?
So right now, the HBCU students are housed in one of the WISH buildings. To begin with, we had a floor designated for them, but our goal is to have them take the whole building. It's just a matter of getting the word out to enough people to fill up the building.
So hold on. So let me just be clear here. So right now you're on a floor. So how many people can the building hold?
Like 200 students.
So you're looking to fill that up. So which means you have available room, but you need the people, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Now,
Yeah.
is there a cost for the students? I mean, who's paying for this? How does that work?
No, there's no cost. Once they receive the grant, it's considered fully paid for. The HBCU National Center is founded through the profits of WISH. So we make the money through WISH and use that to funnel into the HBCU National Center.
So let's just say, so perfect example. So let's say this year I have 4 interns. I've got a student from Howard, I have a student from Morgan State, and then one from Norfolk State, and then one from North Carolina A&T. So let's say I have 4 interns who are HBCU students, but they're all from somewhere else. And so let's say again, if I provide the paid internship, how would I or someone else connect with you to be able to work and link those students up to provide a place to stay?
Yeah, so far we've worked directly with universities and with congressional offices, because that's where the bulk of our connections are. But this right now is great to connect with more intern providers, so more people can know about us and reach out directly to me. Our email is hbcunc@internsdc.com. Anyone can reach out there if they have interns they want housing for. We can help.
So to your two student ambassadors, I mean, it must be pretty cool. Obviously, coming to work here in D.C. and then being able to connect with other students. And so talk about the camaraderie, talk about, obviously folks are working and folks are tired as hell, but it has to be a pretty interesting and unique experience to have all of you sort of living together, communing together.
Yeah, I'll take one. It was a great experience for me, honestly. Everybody went by, all of us stand on the same floor. We all have different internships. Like I work at Department of Homeland Security. Anaya also works at Department of Homeland Security. We have Chandra, who works at the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated headquarters. We have Javon, who's also an Edward Waters student who works here at HBCU National Center. And then we have Nicole and Ian. They also work for the Congress members. And also we have students that also work for the U.S. Chambers. So all us come from different states. Majority of us come from different states. Like I came from Alabama, Naya came from Kentucky. We have one that came from Louisiana, one that came from Dallas. So we are all from different places. And I just feel like, it made us like a family together. Like we're all in this place staying here together. We all stayed on the same floor, so we all connected with each other. So if we needed something, we always were like a door away from each other. So it was a real great experience, real great experience.
All right, go ahead.
Oh. I was a part of the first class, so I became the ambassador. But as to Mashawn's point, it was nice meeting other students from HBCUs and just all connecting about where we come from, our different campuses, our different internships. It's a great experience. Without the HBCU National Center, I don't think I would have been able to come here and intern in D.C. on Capitol Hill and then now for Homeland Security. So I think it's a great opportunity. I met.
This is. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying I met some really good people who became my close friends.
This is one of the issues, and we've talked about this here, that part of the problem, I think this is also great, is because when you talk about on Capitol Hill, the reason the interns are so white, because frankly, black kids and Latino kids and other kids, look, they can't afford to sit here and come to D.C., work for free, pay for housing, pay for food. That's one of the reasons why the internship pool is so white. And so there has to be that level of assistance provided to sort of break down those barriers. I remember Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, when she came in, she made it clear she was paying her interns. She said they shouldn't be working for free. And so that also is crucial.
Right, and I just, even within the HBCU National Center, when you go on our website, we have different resources for students also to apply for internships for the United States Senate. We have White House scholars who's also part of the program. We have students who also, we have that resources on our page also for you not to only get that free housing, but also for you to earn it or get an internship within the Congress and the Senate.
I would agree. Our biggest challenge so far.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I was saying one of our biggest challenges that we've noticed is working with universities to find those students that want to come to DC and actually intern. That's been our biggest challenge, probably why we haven't been able to get the amount of students that we want, but our numbers have increased from the first class where it was 6 of us, and then the spring, and now we're up to 12. So we're making slow but sure progress.
And I think to your point that students can't afford it, so they don't think of it as an option. So kids aren't thinking, oh, I want to go to DC for my spring semester because it just is financially out of the question. So we also are doing constant outreach to career centers at universities. So the kids there, they can do outreach to their students and say, you can go to DC. We have this thing to help you get there.
So look, we're going to make it easy for y'all. Bottom line is we got people who are watching this show. We're going to help spread the word. I've got 3.7 million social media followers. So we'll push that out. Don't be shocked and surprised if you get some inquiries. Because I just think this is a great idea. And again, Jackie Lewis, this is awesome what they are doing, and more people should be aware of this because, yes, this does. And look, at the end of the day, the reason HBCU students don't think about it because the first thing they factor in, man, I can't afford to actually go live there. Now, last question for you. Is it for any internship in the nation's capital? Obviously, Sidney worked with my show, so it's not limited just to on Capitol Hill, correct?
Yeah.
Correct. You can intern anywhere. Like me and Mashawn said, we both interned for Homeland Security. Sidney interned with you. If they have any internship here in DC, they're able to stay with the HBCU National Center.
Wow, that is absolutely awesome. Again, I love it. This is a great idea. We'll push this thing out. I appreciate y'all housing Sidney. Hopefully she learned something in her internship. Today's actually her last day. She's here in Vegas. She's behind the camera. Sidney, walk out here.
Congrats, Sidney.
We miss you.
So, all right, Sidney, you can wave at everybody. So y'all, this is. You got to bend down, Sidney. You didn't zoom the camera out. She working the camera and she didn't zoom the camera out. So, all right, y'all. So we certainly appreciate it. This is a great idea. Good luck, and we'll help y'all. We'll help you fill that building up. Oh, hold on. So you said by semester. So do you do students fall, spring, summer? So what's the schedule?
Mm-hmm. So our fall students for WISH and the HBCU National Center move in August 20th. But we are still accepting applications right now. So we had like a soft deadline, but no real deadline. If you have an internship and you want to come, we're still accepting applications.
All right, then. Look, great idea. Thanks a bunch. We'll push this thing out. And certainly, congratulations to you all. And please give my best to your founder. That is just a really phenomenal thing that she is doing to really help because this does alleviate a lot of the issues that so many HBCU students who are black and of color face in trying to live here in D.C.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. Let me go to our panel, Michael, Matt, and Kelly. Kelly, I'll start with you. You are HBCU grad. I mean, that is pretty cool. Seriously, I didn't know about it because it was a trip. David Squire said, "Hey, we're going to help. We're going to help Sidney find a place to stay with this paid internship." And again, when we were leaving the office, I was like, "I don't call Uber. I'll go ahead and drop you off." I dropped her off. And I was like, "Where the hell is she living?"
Yeah,
we're going on Capitol Hill. We were going on Capitol Hill, and I was like, "What in the hell?" I said, "I've never heard of this place." And so for them to have allocations specifically for HBCU students, that's awesome.
I think it's phenomenal. I really, really do, because when it comes, I remember what it was like to be a college student trying to find an internship. Granted, I went to Bowie State, so my proximity to DC was, a lot closer than other HBCUs, so I was lucky in that regard. But it was still really difficult trying to find one and also securing the necessities that I would need in order to keep the internship. So I can only imagine what it's like for students, now who live further out with likely fewer resources to try and fulfill their dreams of working on the Hill or just working in DC in general. Programs like this are vital to students at HBCUs, and I'm happy that it exists. I wish I knew more about what exactly they need to sustain this program and to expand this program, because they need all the help that they can get. Because what I would love to see is it being fully funded between, like a stipend for transportation, housing's covered. What about food? What about other needs? Because things are more expensive in DC than, say, southern states and the like. So as I would love to see something where the student is covered in a holistic point of view, like 100%, where they don't need for anything. But this is a fantastic start, and I'm extremely proud of those who started this program because it really is needed.
Michael.
Yeah, Roland, this is something that's fantastic. I had not heard of this before today. And yeah, I think this is something that really has to be funded and expanded because this can help to level the playing field so that we have more African Americans who are congressional staffers. Because if you can become a congressional staffer, you can learn how Congress works, the House of Representatives, the U.S. Senate, then you may actually run for Congress. You may run for the House of Representatives, especially the U.S. Senate, because the Senate is 95% white. So if you can get in there as a college student and learn how things work, get relationships, make friendships, things like this, this can help level the playing field. You're correct. The reason why the congressional staffers are so white, a lot of our people can't afford to go work for free. So this is really important.
Matt, closes out.
I had the benefit of interning on Capitol Hill when I was a freshman at Howard, and it was formative for my career. I think Michael's 100% right because it was so important in demystifying how things worked, and I had the benefit of working for a Black member, and it was just a formative experience for my career. So what I wanted to suggest to them, if they are still listening, is to reach out to all the respective HBCU alumni associations, because I think there are so many alumni in those ranks who would not only want to donate, but who have found it to be formative, their own internship experience in DC and otherwise, and understand the import of it. So I think that connection can just further buttress what they've already done, but I think it's an extraordinary program.
All right, then. Folks, I appreciate it. Matt, Michael, Kelly, thank you so very much for joining us. Folks, that is it from NABJ-NAHJ convention here in Las Vegas. Thank you so very much. Real quick, in the studio at home, I need all of the interns caught in front of the camera right now. So I already showed Sidney. So you got 3 interns who are back at the office. Get out to the studio right now. Get out there. Let's go. Let's go. Move it, interns. Move it. Anthony, y'all probably didn't turn the lights on in the studio. So today is the last day of our hurry up, turn the lights on. Today is the last day of our 4 interns. And so I want to thank them for all of their hard work. Hopefully they learned something. Last week we had an outing, a mini staff retreat at Top Golf. One thing I did learn, none of them can play golf. Not one. Sidney, stop. Stop. Not one of them. Not Janae. Not now one of them. Y'all can play golf. And so not now one of them. None of them. Kenneth thought he was doing something. He was not representing Norfolk at all. At all. And so, again, want to thank them for all of their work. I certainly hope they learned a lot. This was the first class of interns. So there they go. Right there, so I see Kenneth. I see. I don't know why she always dancing. I don't know. There be no music playing, and Janae be over there just dancing, acting silly. Where's Caden? Is he at work today? Mm-hmm. Carol, is Caden at work today? Caden, where in the hell your slow ass? Get your slow Sigma ass out there, Caden. Where is he? Alex, he's not there. Carol, Caden ain't work today? Hey, Caden ain't get paid for today then. Caden ain't work today? Tell that Sigma he ain't getting paid today. He ain't getting paid today. And Kenneth, now let me explain something. I'm gonna go ahead and bust somebody out. Kenneth, how you gonna come the last day of your internship and you don't have an Alpha shirt on? In fact, you ain't wore an Alpha shirt all 10 weeks.
That's not true. It's not true. No, I had an Alpha shirt on the floor.
Kenneth.
Give me a microphone.
Kenneth, how is your last day? Your last day, you got a little Alpha wristband. How you, man? I'm gonna have to explain to you.
I wore a wristband. I wore a lanyard. And I wore a couple t-shirts.
I'm gonna have to let you know. You're gonna have to do better, Frat. You're gonna have to do better than that. Okay, you gotta represent a whole lot better. All right, y'all. Again, let me thank our 4 interns, and let me thank. He didn't reveal it publicly, but there's a major entertainer who put the money up for 3 of our internships. There's a major entertainer who put the money up of 3 of our interns, and I did. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have them. Y'all gonna write this person individual letters, and then I'm gonna deliver it to them. So I haven't revealed his name, but when I brought on Sidney, I said, hey, I'm trying to find the money for the other 3. And he said, don't worry about it, I got it, and wired over the $30,000 that paid for those other 3 internships. And so that was just awesome that actually happened there. All right, folks, that is it for us. I got to go. I got stuff to do. Carol over here, y'all, is sick. I'm about to make Carol real sick because a few moments ago, my frat Lionel Richie hit me up, and I got tickets. He said I can go to tonight's show or tomorrow night's show. He's in Vegas. John Legend's here tonight. I was texting John yesterday, and then sorry, Carol, I just got 2 tickets to Silk Sonic show tonight. So, I mean, Carol over here cussing, y'all. She over here cussing. So the head, yeah, I know. I keep trying. And Carol keeps saying why rub it in, but I keep telling her she gotta let her brother know who she likes. So yeah, I'm going to the Silk Sonic show tonight before I go to the Sports Task Force party at the House of Blues. But then I'll be at Lionel Richie concert tomorrow night. That's my frat brother. So I'm just saying. But Carol, I'll hook you up with New Edition at Essence. Don't even front. Zoom the camera out, Sidney. Zoom the camera out. But she got, did you get hooked up with New Edition?
I did.
Did you get photos with New Edition?
I did.
Did you get photos with all the members of New Edition?
I did.
Cool, now go sit your ass down. Okay. All right, y'all. Y'all, that's it. I will see y'all Monday right here, Roland Martin Unfiltered. We always end the show with our fan club members. Want to thank all of them. Last one, don't forget, give to folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. We got some road trips coming up. We got elections coming up. We're going to be hitting the road as well, covering these things. I want to be in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. I want to be all Louisiana, Kentucky. Y'all gonna make it possible. Again, P.O. Box for checks and money orders. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App, $RM Unfiltered. PayPal, R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. And Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com. All right, y'all, I got to bounce. I'm gonna see y'all.